what would it be like if you were supposed to be training in bodhicitta and you didn't have people around you to express warmth to? I mean, this tradition, Mahayana Buddhism and especially Vajrayana Buddhism, we're emphasizing taking every single sentient being on our own shoulders and never giving up on them. And in fact, being willing to suffer in the hell realms even for them and remain in samsara until, there's not a single being left. And if we try to do that in isolation, it's hard to understand how that could possibly work. Onion Rinpoche has sent me to Tibet many times, and I've had the chance to meet so many masters. And for example, one, he was a lifelong retreatant, and he had done so many recitations of Omani Padme Hung that he actually had stopped speaking. So he no longer spoke. And he was just living in a cave. And we went on horseback. I went with Rinpoche's brother at the time. We went on horseback way up to his cave. And you might think like this kind of person, is just cut off from society, but you're overwhelmed by their love and their warmth and their bodhicitta. Tibetan people have really internalized bodhicitta. It's become their culture. It's actually, you have a similar feeling when you're in Japan. I lived in Japan for about 4 years, and you have a similar feeling there where Buddhism has sort of become part of people's everyday way of thinking. And so in a society like that, I guess maybe being around a Sangha all the time is not quite as important, because I think people there are training in bodhicitta regardless. But for me, if I wasn't forced to get along with people, if I wasn't forced to take care of people, if I wasn't forced to put others before myself, I don't know why I would ever have the inclination to do that. I grew up and I went through my entire life without doing that. And in fact, everyone in my life told me that that was the right thing to do. So this idea of Sangha, I think at least for Americans or in Western Dharma, becomes even more important in some ways, or it's important for a different reason. When you're in Asia, I can remember being at Rinpoche Shedra, so our root Lama Shedra, and we would give nicknames to the monks that were working. And, we would name them like Smiling Monk or something, because they would just be like doing things all day long, serving people, working so hard, and they would just have this huge smile. And they were so happy and joyful about what they were doing. Maybe there's reasons to rely on a Sangha that are really different than what our impression is. They say, when you read explanations of Sangha, it's like they're your path, they're your companions on the path to enlightenment. But that doesn't really get to the heart of, sort of, for me, like breaking down my isolated and colder side, which I've just always had. I mean, it was just part of the way I was raised. I look after myself. I do things for myself. And everybody in the Sangha, I try really hard to put them before me. I work extremely hard for them. And I do that because Rinpoche told me to do it. It was, definitely he pushed me to do it. But now I do it because I want to. And so sometimes, we just have to be in that situation so that we can experience that.